Hello. As you can see, this is a new location. This is actually the lobby of my aunt's place, my aunt's apartment. They have this cute little setup in the lobby, so I figured let's try this instead of going down to my car where it's all dark. Forgive me if I pause, and because I'm sure that at some point people will walk over. There's a security guard in the office right now, and I'm sure at some point he has to leave that office to make rounds. Hopefully I'm not here too long. But what I wanted to talk about today was manifestation, and I guess the way to think about manifestation, because I feel like a lot of people kind of put it out there that you need to visualize and you need to act as if, and I feel like that gets really misconstrued, and I feel like a lot of people take it literally. I did. And instead what happens is we end up doing things that reinforce the manifestation not happening, or we start manifesting the wrong things. Because if you don't know and how energy works already, we are constantly manifesting things. We naturally manifest things by what we say, what the actions we take. A lot of us are doing this unconsciously because we are built of a lot of habits and programs. So we are pretty much taught to be in a negative mindset so that we're manifesting negative things into our reality. Very sad truth. But yeah, once you kind of understand things like the first law of hermetics, which is mentalism, the fact that everything is mind. So another quote that explains that is, what you think about will come about. I think there's another quote by, I want to say Immanuel Kant, where it's like, whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. There's many different people who have explained this concept in totally different ways. But all that to say, when we set a goal for manifestation, I'm gonna use the two, I feel like, most common examples of manifestation goals, which is money and love or partnership. So I feel like what happens is when you hear to act as if, or to visualize, actually no, we're gonna go with just acting as if, right? To live as if it already happened. A lot of us take that literally. And with money as an example, we'll be like, all right, well, this is already done, my manifestation has happened, therefore I should be able to afford to buy that random thing I want, or I should be able to afford to go out with my friends when I know that that money could be used for something else, or I should be able to give a big fat tip to the server, even though I could probably give the standard. It's like, it like becomes a thing of, okay, well, it's like, what's your money mindset then? Are you spending your money in a way where you feel abundant, or are you showing off? And I feel like a lot of us kind of get caught up in that, because I feel like maybe a lot of us, especially people who aren't particularly grounded in spirituality, or have kind of just come across manifestation as something that is just like, I don't know, a means to an end, our motivations really dictate how it shows up, And I feel like when you manifest money specifically from this place of wanting it for vanity reasons, instead especially when it doesn't show up in your reality and you're spending all this money that you don't have, then it kind of instead brings up a pain point. It just kind of reinforces the fact that you don't have this, right? So what's the solution, Lauren? How do we act as if we don't have the funds to act as if? Well, it's not necessarily about literally acting as if you have all the money in the world. It's about taking the most aligned action that is available in your reality to what you would actually do. So going back to the example of with a server, right? It's like if you know that you would be tipping extra, maybe rather than monetarily tipping extra, you can tell that person, hey, I really enjoyed your service. I know that there's a lot of servers who probably wouldn't care for that, but for an actual good server, words go a long way. Or you can even take that as, if you give out a compliment to a random stranger, that doesn't cost you anything, but that you're giving something to somebody by giving them those words, by giving them that acknowledgement to something they put effort into it, and it's priceless. That can change the trajectory of someone's whole day. Think about a time that someone complimented you, told you that your outfit looked fly, that your hair looked good. How did that make you feel? And it's something that you can give for free. Another way, or something that I chose to start looking at, is like, once having your baseline bills paid, and then whatever you have left over, using that to treat yourself. So how I invest in myself, my nails make me feel like a batter bitch. But there were a couple months where I couldn't really do them, and that was okay. But what the main thing was, I was able to pay my bills. Even better if you can pay them on time, because I know there's, the world's getting tough out there. But it's about prioritizing, right? It's like, just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you don't prioritize. What we hear a lot with some people who get an influx of money is they end up blowing it all, or there's people who they get an upgrade in their life, and then they upgrade everything in their life, and then they're still having the same amount of financial issues despite making a certain amount of money, because they don't know how to prioritize and how to allocate their resources. So taking that into account, like, what are the resources I have? What are my priorities? And after the priorities are met, how do I want to use what I have left over? Or like, what are the things that are most important to me that are investing in myself? So again, I do my nails because it makes me feel like a bad bitch. And there's a lot of things that make me feel like a bad bitch, but like, to go out and say buy another pair of shoes when I have other pairs of shoes that also make me feel good and that I take care of those shoes, that's where it's now not necessarily investing in myself, but wanting to show off, just wanting to show off that I have so many different things. It's like, what are your motivations? Because at the end of the day, it's not, what makes manifestation work is not putting yourself in that reality necessarily. It's putting yourself in the feeling of that reality. So, I mean, with everything, it's energy. There's this one guided meditation that I listen to, and when they talk about money, they break down how money is a currency, and the word currency is derived from the word current. And when you're thinking about a current, you're thinking about a current of water, right? How water flows. Money flows to and from you. Same with love. It flows to and from you. So when you realize that the energy is interchangeable, then that's all you have to do to get yourself to live as if, to give yourself the type of energy that creates the emotion, because emotions are just energy in motion. That's how you get to your manifestations faster. So what does money provide? Money provides security. It provides, that's the biggest thing. It provides security. If you had a lot of money, you'd feel safe. When you feel abundant about your life, it's like you don't necessarily need money for that. It's like money is just the exchange of currency that we've all agreed upon. We could all wake up tomorrow and be like, you know what? Money is obsolete. Let's go back to barter and trade. And the world would operate not exactly the same, but similarly. It's like money is a construct just as much as anything else. But again, it's something that it's ingrained into our system to think that we need this. And that's why, even though, people say that money is the root of all evil, it's not. It really is not. It's just a tool. And it's all about how you think about it. Also, look into your beliefs about the things that you want to manifest, because like I said in the beginning, we are all programmed to think negatively. So if you have subconscious patterning against having a lot of money, or against a romantic relationship, what a healthy romantic relationship looks like, if those things are unaddressed, it doesn't matter how much you visualize, vision board, or change your language and perspective about it. If your subconscious, because your subconscious rules everything. It rules your overall thinking. So it rules how you manifest things in life. That's why there's so many people who, even though they make all these changes in the conscious 3D world, they still aren't getting what they want. So now moving over to the example of love as well. So when you're manifesting something that involves other people, the most important thing to remember is that at the end of the day, you give it to yourself first. You are the example that leads everybody else. So in love, how much are you loving yourself? How much are you taking care of yourself? How much are you doing the things that you would want to do with a partner? When I was younger, I used to go to restaurants a lot. And I think there's this notion that, oh, that's a sad thing, but it's like, it's only a sad thing if you think about it like that. I used to just go out and just go get dessert. Simple treat. Just take yourself out. Take yourself to the movies. Go do the things that you would want to do with your partner for yourself. Like for myself, I know that living when I live alone, or even now, because when I'm with my aunt and my daughter, I play music a lot more now than I used to when I was in a relationship, which is so sad. I can't believe I spent so many years not listening to music all day. It's wild to me because I love music. It's like the most important relationship that I have with myself is through music. I don't know why that distracted me. But yeah, just like investing in yourself, taking care of yourself. If you want a healthy relationship, do you have a healthy relationship with yourself? Are you eating properly? Are you making sure that you take care of your skin, your body? Are you taking care of your vessel? Because like, how can you expect that someone is gonna come and do all of these things for you that you won't do for yourself? And then like, you have to think that you have to remember that you have to do these things for the other person as well in some capacity. So why not get yourself in that mindset and in that habit of taking care of yourself, and then finding the things that you would reciprocate, or doing the things that you would reciprocate to another person and have reciprocated to you. And then on that note, what am I talking about? On that note, oh shit, it was right there. And now I'm gonna lose it because I'm trying to think about what I was about to say. Oh, knowing what it is you want, knowing what your love language is. Because I think a huge problem for most people is they express their love in their love language. So then they're not receiving it right. Because a lot of people, I don't know too many people who actually have the same love language. To be honest, I feel like love languages, you should do all of them in retrospect, but obviously there's going to be some that you lean more towards or you have more preference to. And yeah, the problem is we give love in our love language rather than to make it known that that's how we want to receive love, and then to know what our partner's love language is and to translate that way. So yeah, like for myself, I've spoken about this a couple different times, particularly in my video about why I left my marriage. But I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know who I was as a person. So the values that I came together with my ex were values that weren't actually mine. They were my mom's mostly, and society's. But when you know what you want, what you need, then it's easier to ask for it. And I think a lot of people also have this notion that your partner almost needs to be psychic, and it's not about that. It's your partner needs to be attentive enough to see what you're doing for yourself, and then to pick up on that and to do that, or to hear one time, or not necessarily one time, but like to hear the things that you say you want, or to take note in something that you want, to remember that, and then to give that to you. So but yeah, it's like it all starts with you expressing it. Like, no one is just gonna know, and the only people who seem to are just people who match that. You know, like I've felt this a lot living with my aunt, because a lot of the things that she does for herself, she does for me, or like a lot of the things that I would like in a relationship. She just naturally does, because that's how she would want things. So for example, something that I used to have an issue with my ex was when replace and replenish. There's a clip here that I'm not gonna look for and insert, but it's basically like, if you have a snack or a product and it's finished, whoever finished it should replenish it. And okay, we're not gonna complain about my ex, but my aunt started to, now that I've been living with her, she does that, and I really appreciate it. And I really appreciate that I didn't have to ask for it, but I only didn't have to ask for it because that is something that just aligns with her. And not even if you find a partner that aligns with a lot of things that you like, it's never going to be everything. So you have to be able to have enough confidence to express what it is you want, and to be able to express what it is that you want, you need to know what you want. So yeah, I guess to wrap up the whole thing, the main message is the key to manifesting is just taking aligned action, the closest aligned action that gets you to your manifestation. It's to make every decision in the mind frame of how you would when you have your desired manifestation, but doing what is possible within that. So yeah, I don't have to explain it again. The whole video explains it. But yeah, just do your best. Do your best. And don't take it literally. I think that's the number one thing I could say is don't take it literally, because you don't want to reinforce the negative. You don't want to reinforce all the ways that you don't have the manifestation. And also don't hold too tightly onto how. Don't hold on at all as to how. Understand that between where you are and where you want to be, the how is going to be up to the unseen forces, up to the universe, up to source. And there is a part of you that has to trust that and let go of that control. You have to notice where the opportunity comes up for you to act in alignment, and then act in alignment, because yeah, every choice that we make dictates the outcome, the outcome that we're living in. So yeah, break it down to the little choices that you make, instead of buying the off-brand soap, spend the 50 cents and get the nice smelling soap, or the soap that has the aloe in it. It makes your skin soft. It's just like do tiny there's so many little things you can do. Take care of yourself, take care of your body. Go out into the world. Breathe the air. Let nature give you things. That's something that I had a really big issue with, I guess, is seeing how much that I actually receive, because especially as a feminine, or as sitting in my feminine energy was very tough for me. But when you really think about it, the world gives you so much. There's so much for you to be thankful for in the world. So yeah, go out, hug a tree, tell the tree thank you for the oxygen. I don't know why this is like an analogy that keeps coming up for me, but yeah, just be grateful. Be grateful for the things you already have, and focus on those things more than what you lack, because where attention goes, energy flows, I think is the quote. Anyways, I hope this resonated. I hope you found this insightful. And until next time, bye.